G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to be flying the F-100, and it's a little bit special this time. We're flying in a squad that has 4 men, obviously, but one of them being the legendary PhlyDaily. Yes, that's right, we're flying out with Phly. So you can call me Spit Flyer today, shall we? Jokes aside, we are in the F-100, and the F-100 and MiG-19 are obviously always sort of discussed. How competitive are they against each other? How good are they? Etc. Personally, I think they're both reasonably well balanced. Although, for me personally, if I'm flying in a squad, I think I like the F-100 better. But if I'm flying alone or in a 2-man squad, I think I prefer the MiG-19 better. Simply because the MiG-19 is really good at those 1 versus 1 dogfights, and it's got the guns, it's got absolutely incredible performance, but the F-100 has the combination of a good top speed, good high-speed energy retention, and it works, for some reason, it works really, really well when you have lots of good teammates around you. You absolutely dominate, and you'll see exactly what happens here. So what I'm doing is I'm rushing in. I've got Phly up above me there, and I've got my mate Raccoon, who's off to the left a little bit more, and then my mate Zataris, who's I believe he's a little bit above and behind. Phly and Zataris will end off climbing up a little bit, and they'll be our supports. And myself and Raccoon will be the spearhead as such. So this squadron is already working out with good tactics, good members of the team, for example, and we're all sort of doing a decent job already. The game starts from when you pick your ordnance and when you pick your fuel time. It can be literally won and lost straight off that. And although most of everyone generally tends to take the same amount of fuel and the same amount of missiles and ordnance and whatever, we've all got missiles. We've all got, I believe, spaded performance at least. And you can see here, we're rushing off right from the takeoff. 2 of us are rushing in, 2 of us are climbing. Now, you can see the enemies that have just appeared off to the left there. I'm not worrying about them because I know I've built up enough speed. I'm getting close to 1100 kilometers per hour, and by the time those guys try and intercept me, they will not have built up that speed, and I will easily be able to get past them. Not only that, I've got my teammate to back me up. I've got a couple of teammates behind me who are sort of slow rushing, and the team is already looking amazing. We're already positioning ourselves in good spots, less than 20 seconds off the airfield. And now that we're about a minute in, you can see the effects of this positioning taking effect. And that's why I think, personally, 1, if you've got good squad mates, the game is already won, depending on how good your squad mates are and how good at positioning they are. And 2, back on that positioning, it is extremely important. And in jets, it happens really quickly, and in props, it happens really slowly. That's why a lot of people seem to like jet combat. And you can see here, even though I have 2 MiG-19s on my ass, I'm not worried. Because I've got Raccoon off to the side of me, and I've got Phly and Zataris off to behind me. And all I need to do is turn and avoid one of their shots. Raccoon can distract the other. And I already have a 2 versus 4 situation, and this is where the F-100 excels. It excels in situations where it doesn't have to fight on its own. Where you can have a squad mate to back you up and trade with MiG-19s, you can essentially control the battle by switching with the enemy. So what you do is if you say, okay, I'm going to take out this particular guy, like this MiG-19 behind Raccoon, behind Zataris, and so you have another guy on your 6. You don't aim to get the guy on your 6, you aim to get the guy on your mate's 6, and then eventually you will dictate the fight so much so that you are essentially turning with your teammate. And your turn rate doesn't necessarily matter. It's the enemy's teammate turn rate doesn't matter. It's the enemy. It's yours. So you can actually control the fight at will. And as long as the enemies stick on you, that plan works. And it so far has worked absolutely amazingly. I've gotten myself a missile kill, and that might be the only kill that I get all match. But my teammates and supporting my teammates has provided my team with the concrete foundation for a victory. And that's 1, because the players are good, and 2, because they position themselves extremely well. And I think I will always harp on about positioning in ARB, just because the way that you play this game is a little bit like a game of chess. Checking the minimap pretty often is a very viable strategy and a very viable tactic. And you can see there behind me that most of the enemy team is now fighting in 1 versus X situations. That F100 there is screwed. That F100 there is screwed. They're all screwed because they are now playing in 1 versus X situations. And the more 1v X situations F100s play in, the more they lose. If you're in a 2 versus 2 situation, for example, in an F100, you can very, very easily change that, just because you can fight to your own standards and your own pace, which is exactly what an F100 needs. The MiG-19 has a tighter turn rate, it has higher energy retention, and it also has good, if not better, acceleration. And that's it. That's most of the team dead. So, how do you go about doing this with randoms, right? You have to be coordinated in the chat. You have to read the map extremely well. So it is difficult. It is very difficult, but you can pull this off with randoms in your jet games. But personally, I would recommend, if you're going to play the F100, take a squad mate with you. Pick 2 enemies that are heading towards you, isolate them, and then engage with them. You can see me here. I've tried to get this F100 to turn with me so that perhaps Phly can take him or someone else can take him. And I do fire a missile to try and get him to turn, but the missile decides, it's going to lead and not do anything productive, which is fine because I've got a teammate to back me up. And it doesn't matter how bad you are, if you have a teammate to back you up, you are most of the time going to survive, going to win, provided that they're good. And that teamwork is extremely, extremely important. That's why I personally take such great issue to things such as troll squatting, because you're essentially a couple of people down. And when you're a couple of people down in a jet match and everybody counts, you put your team at such a disadvantage that you can potentially lose them the match just off that. And there you go, ladies and gents. When you have a good team, and a team that works, and a team that works together, you can achieve results such as this. The enemy did not get a single kill. No one got a single kill on the enemy team. And the only enemy that died, or the only ally that died, was a teammate from a team kill accidentally. And that is how you play the F100. You play the F100 in your groups, you stick together, you play together, and as a result, you will end up winning together. I know that sounds a little bit cliche, but that's just how it goes. And you may just get 1 kill every match. But occasionally, you'll get an ace. Occasionally, you'll get maybe more. But until then, ladies and gents, enjoy. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.